All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge question, one that honestly causes a ton of stress for so many of us. How much car can you really actually afford?
You ever feel that? Like your car payment is this massive anchor just weighing down your entire budget and squeezing the fun out of everything else? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. It's a classic sign that you might have too much car.
But here's the good news. We're going to fix that today. I'm going to walk you through a super simple, straightforward way to figure out your car buying budget. The whole point here is to give you clarity and confidence, not to bury you in complicated spreadsheets or make you feel guilty.
So how do we do it? Well, it all comes down to a really simple but incredibly powerful rule of thumb. Think of it less like a strict law and more like a guideline to help you find your financial safe zone.
Okay, here it is. It's called the 10-15-20 rule. The idea is to keep your monthly car payment somewhere between 10 to 15% of your monthly take-home pay. And, this is key, you want to keep your total car costs, the payment plus insurance, gas, maintenance, all of it, under 20%. This simple rule creates a really clear line between what's manageable and what's just plain risky.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the single most important number here, your take-home pay. That's the actual cash that hits your bank account every month after they take out taxes and all that other stuff. For the examples we're about to run, we're going to use $3,500 a month. As we go through this, just go ahead and swap in your own number in your head.
And look how easy this is. Using our $3,500 take-home pay, 10% is just $350 a month. That is your green zone. That's the sweet spot, super comfortable. 15% comes out to $525. We'll call that the yellow zone. It's manageable, but you got to be careful. But once you start creeping over 20%, so $700 or more, you are firmly in the red zone, and that's where your car is basically eating your budget alive.
Okay, so numbers on a chart are one thing, but what does this actually look like for real people? Let's check out 3 different scenarios. All 3 people make the exact same $3,500 a month, but their car payments tell very different stories.
So, first up, we have person A. Their car payment is $300 a month. That's less than 10% of their income, putting them smack dab in the middle of that green zone. This means they have plenty of money left for rent, for savings, for going out, for actually having a life. This is what financial breathing room feels like. Now here's person B. Their payment is $550. At around 16%, they're in that yellow zone. I mean, it's doable, but wow, it is tight. There's almost no wiggle room for surprises, like a surprise medical bill or if the water heater breaks. Every single dollar has a job. And finally, there's person C. Their payment is a whopping $800 a month. That's almost 23% of their take-home pay, and that's just for the payment. This is the danger zone, no question. They are incredibly financially fragile. One little thing goes wrong and they could easily spiral into debt. This right here is the definition of being car poor. And this whole situation brings us to a massive, massive trap that so many of us fall into. It's understanding the huge difference between what a car dealer says you can get and what your actual budget says you can handle. See, the dealer is playing one game. Their main question is, can we get you approved for this loan? But your job is to play a totally different game. Your question has to be, does this payment fit comfortably under 15% of my take-home pay? Your question is the one that protects you. Let me say that again, because this is probably the single most important takeaway. Getting approved for a loan is not the same thing as being able to afford it. Just because a bank is willing to lend you the money doesn't mean it's a smart move for your financial life. All right, so we've kind of nailed down the payment part. But as we mentioned with the 10-15-20 rule, the payment itself is really just the beginning of the story. Right. So your total cost of ownership also includes things like insurance, which, by the way, is almost always higher on a newer, more expensive car. Then you've got fuel or charging costs, and of course the fact that eventually things are going to need maintenance and repairs. If your payment alone is already pushing up against that 20% mark, you have zero room left for all this other stuff without taking money away from essentials, like your savings or even your grocery bill. Okay, so now it's your turn. Let's do a quick self-check right now so you can see exactly where you stand with your own car. It's just 3 really simple steps. First, figure out your monthly take-home pay. Second, take that number and multiply it by 0.10 to find your green zone number, and then by 0.15 to find the top of your yellow zone. And third, just compare that range to what you're actually paying for your car each month. So go ahead, take a second. Where did you land?
Are you chilling in the comfortable green zone, feeling the squeeze in the yellow zone, or are you in the high-risk red zone? Now, if you just did the math and your stomach dropped because you are deep in the red, please take a breath. You are not alone, not by a long shot. And this is not about making you feel ashamed. This is all about giving you the clarity you need to make a better move next time. It's about empowerment.
So instead of feeling stuck, you can start asking some really productive questions. Hey, is it possible to refinance to a lower payment? Can I maybe trim some other expenses for a little while to create some breathing room? And the most important one, can I make a promise to myself that for my next car, I am going to aim squarely for that green zone?
And let's just end on this thought. We're constantly told that an upgrade means a fancier, shinier, more expensive car. But what if the best upgrade you can ever give yourself isn't more horsepower or a bigger touchscreen? What if it's a lighter payment, more financial freedom, and a whole lot less stress?